Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ever Games YouTube channel. This is the life and suffering of Sir Brante. In the previous episode we found out that Tommas is in a lot of trouble. He might die, and we could play a role in his death, unfortunately, because he's supposed to be my best friend, but he's in quite a pinch with his Archnean noble overseer, overlord, commander, Darius Otton. And Darius likes to duel people to the death, which has happened to Tommas a couple of times. Maybe I can get Randolph to duel him and win. That would set things on fire, I think. A human who has only just become a noble kills an Archnean. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's gonna put things on fire. Anyway. It's the year 1142 and the Emperor's heirs are apparently in danger. News from the capital quickly reaches every corner of the Empire. Cherian and Flavius, the heirs to the throne, have left the Emperor's palace for the province of Monia, which is ruled by Great Chancellor Aegarius Monrogue. The Great Chancellor has accused the Emperor's court of harboring malefactors conspiring against the Imperial heirs. This is why he has offered them shelter and safety in his own impregnable citadel. Common people are particularly worried about the news. They take it as a sign that the Chancellor is seeking to solidify his power by holding the heirs hostage. This continues, Monroe could coerce the Emperor into revoking the Imperial law, thus depriving the common estate of any and all rights. So this Monroe character was the one that didn't want us to enter the Imperial College. So he kind of put the guards on us and tried to prevent the upcoming nobles from entering. Guess he felt that there's already enough human nobles. We don't need any more. Anyway, I showed him a couple of episodes ago. All hope for reform in the Empire has vanished. From farmer to rich industrialist, the commoners are growing desperate. In your province, the authorities are trying their best to put the people at ease. The Magistrate of Anizati makes a speech from his balcony to the excited crowd below. Oh, it's Ramiel Vermin, the guy who wanted to recruit me into the elite, and I turned him down, because I'm loyal, and it's gonna bite me in the butt. Trust in your emperor, good people. The Imperial heirs are the future of the Great Tempest dynasty. The Emperor has made the wise decision to send them far away from the scheming court. Great Chancellor Monroe will take good care of them, keep them safe. All glory to the Empire, all glory to the Tempests. That's it? Like, people had to show up for that speech? Man, that is disappointing. So the security of my... Oh no, this is the wealth that I'm looking at, which is still secure, but it's going down. I did my best so much to get the industrials more wealth and thus the province, and then these noble fuckers, they're just messing it up. And we are slowly going... Oh, no, we're actually going to nobility and power. Old nobility and power is that way, so that's the direction we're going. Was another spoiler there, and which made me lose my train of thoughts. To be fair, something, I don't know what I was gonna say. It was very important, as you can tell, as is all my YouTube commentary. You're walking up the marble stairs that lead to the doors of the prefecture. The sword of the younger twin, carved from stone, looms above the doors, just as the case of Darius Otton now looms over you. Preparing this case will take many long months, or even years. The words of Prefect El Borne are evidence enough of that. Time and again you will ask yourself, are you ready to see this case through to the end? I think I'm gonna need a lot of willpower for this one. Father meets you at the stairs, and judging by the dour look about him, news of your most recent case has already reached him. Son, I didn't want to discuss this back home. El Borne is our friend and I stand by him at all times, but he's dragged you into something that is far too dangerous. I'm not going to repeat your grandfather's mistakes, so I won't tell my son how to live his life and what to do, but I ask you to please consider our family. Would it be worth it to let us come to harm, even if the triumph of justice and laws is at stake? There are already rumors at the prefecture. They say you're getting ready to summon a highborn Archnian to court. Soon these rumors will spread beyond the prefecture walls. You and I are both Brantes. Perhaps we ought to stay away from something so dangerous. Some battles are too ugly for us to win. You can always slow down the process and bide your time with routine paperwork, avoid attracting unwanted attention. This way your career and our family honor would not be at risk. Trust me in this, son. Rather than making a selfless sacrifice, we can achieve far more through tireless service for the good of the law. You promise Father you will consider his words. You say goodbye, return to your office. You're at a crossroads. If you are to make any headway in the case against Otton, you have to start now, while the trail of his misdeeds is still fresh. Man, they're gonna let me choose between my family and Tommas, pretty much. You have little first-hand knowledge of Otton's criminal wrongdoings, only Tommas' stories, and what you have seen for yourself. Turning this case into a trial requires far more evidence than that. Your friend could be the key to the entire case. If he can help you find the other men who have suffered under the remorseless Archnian, Tommas is a hunted man. He has every reason to lay low and steer clear of the courthouse. If Tommas can put you in touch with other victims and witnesses among the soldiers and officers of the Legion, perhaps you could gather evidence yourself. The Legion may meet a lone outsider such as you with too much resistance. Things might get ugly. You consider your options. Apart from Tommas, who else could help you gather compelling evidence against the commander? Otton is an Archnian from an ancient dynasty. Anyone involved will hold their tongue, no matter what. The way things are right now, not a single soul would risk angering the Ottons to aid a middling judge from an unknown family. Unless an even more highborn Archnian chooses to support your cause. Hint hint, Octavia Melanides. Gaius Tempus, the Imperial Overseer of Magra. Oh, wow. The Emperor's own brother. Every aristocrat in the province knows he detests Darius Otton for remaining loyal to Archduke Melanides. Ensuring the Overseer's support would increase your authority greatly. Give you a chance to gather evidence against Otton without Tommas lifting a finger. But the Imperial Overseer is one step above the Prefect, your immediate supervisor, or superior. You can only address Gaius Tempus directly if you keep it a secret from El Borne. Communicating directly with the Overseer of the province means defying your loyalty to El Borne. Are you willing to do this? Puzzled, you start pacing your office. It's time you decide how you will begin this case. Depending on what you choose, the case against Otton could lead you to unprecedented success or end your career or even your very life. If we ask Tommas, the relationship with Tommas will go down. Tommas remains in danger, but we gain evidence against Otton. Unfortunately, I cannot speak to the Overseer because our family reputation is too low. That sucks. I can search for evidence on my own, which will get me a lesser debt apparently. My valor and my scheming will go up. Yeah, I don't really need that. Or I cannot waste my time. My career goes up. Man, this is a tough one. My willpower will go up. It is 15 at the moment, and my relationship with my dad will go up. Well, it doesn't go against the family, at least here. So maybe I need to back down at a later stage. I don't know, but for now, let's ask Tommas to gather evidence. You do the work, Tommas. It's your life on the line. Tommas is trying his best to keep out of Otton's way, but justice demands evidence, so he has to help you gather it. You send Tommas a request to meet you, fully confident that your friend will not turn you away. Tommas takes almost no time to reply, just as you expected. You meet at one of his favorite taverns in the Brass District. Honestly, pal, I gotta be as quiet as a temple mouse right now, or else His Excellency might remember I exist. Guess there is no way around it if it's the only way to get the bastard. It's a deal, Randolph. I'll introduce you to all the Legion men I know. Down your glass, let's go. I mean, Tommas can always become a poet. Together you visit a number of Legion officers who have already met a lesser death in duel with Otton, all of them nobles of the mantle, ennobled only recently, young, full of potential to serve the good of the Empire. None of them are eager to speak of the duel, all of them are anxious to avoid getting challenged again. For many of them another duel would be their last. You have to trust us, please. I suffered at his hands just like you, but I won't let him get away with it. Don't you want the Archnians to stop threatening us with violence all the time? All of us, you, all the fresh recruits for the Legion? Judge Brante is gonna see this through to the end. He's gonna indict him. And Otton's Archnian ancestry isn't gonna stand in his way. Man, I better see this through then. If not, Tommas is gonna kill me, or the other Legionnaires. Tommas's fervor tips the scales as surviving brother-in-arms from the Legion finally agree to have their statements committed to ink and paper. Their testimony paints a picture. There is a method to Otton's madness, you realize. All of the officers disobeyed the commander at least once or expressed their disagreement, no matter how respectfully. More and more officers are starting to realize that Otton's loyalty lies with Archduke Milanides and not his lawful superior, the Overseer. So more and more officers are getting challenged by Otton. Have Otton's duels gone beyond his passion for sword fighting? Were they just an excuse to eliminate any suspicion of his treason? I really hope Octavia is not going to get involved at some point asking me to back off from Otton. Probably it is. I mean, this game puts you in difficult spots, which is really cool. I love the storytelling of this. The relatives of the officers who have met through death in a duel are the hardest to convince. Widows, mothers, fathers, they all say the same thing with the same grim expression. They have nothing to complain about, nothing can be done anymore. The officer met his death in the line of duty and that is all. But Tommas is persistent, and eventually he persuades them to admit that their husbands and relatives all met their end at Otton's hand. In all those duels and deaths you begin to notice a trend. None of them were sanctioned or monitored by the Court of Honor. Noble tradition demands that every sword fight be sanctioned by noble society and overseen by a representative of the Court of Honor, so Otton thinks himself above even the noble traditions of old. When all is done, you thank Tommas from the bottom of your heart. You would have never taken these statements without his aid. It's nothing, we're friends, aren't we? It's high time someone put an end to this beastly behavior. I'll always be there to help you beat down that ugly blue freak, but I better lay low for now. If Otton hears of me snooping around with you and asking about his duels, it'll be curtains for me. The once thin folder against Otton grows fatter by the day as you write down every instance and incident, every name, every circumstance. One day Prefect El Borne pays you a visit to see your progress firsthand. You've done great work, Brante. Commander Otton isn't even bothering to cover his tracks, I must say. This evidence alone would be enough to indict anyone save for an Archnian nobleman, sadly. So your work here is far from over. I see you realize that. The way things stand right now, summoning an Archnian to trial in a court of law would indict us rather than him. It would be best to postpone the case for now, to keep the folders safe and secure. If we want to have any change of getting him indicted in court, we need to make the nobles in the province recognize duels as acts of murder. This means defying a tradition of old, a road perilous and seldom traveled. It means enforcing the rule of law over the Anisotti gentry. For now, Sir Brante, return to your other duties and pay particular attention to any dueling incidents. Well, I might take part in some myself, to be honest. We will take over the next step against Sir Otton when the time is right. Stephan's Gambit. You've hardly found any time for family matters this year. The events taking place in the city keeps you busy at all hours. Tonight you come home extremely late, but the fireplace in the sitting room is lit. By the fire you see Stephan with a glass of wine. Your elder brother has been waiting for you. You take a seat in the chair by Stephan's side. Your brother keeps turning his glass with his long fingers. Randolph, we need to have a talk about Gloria. She flatly refuses to behave as she ought to. Her antics are ruining our family's reputation. If this situation persists, nobility of the sword will be out of the question. Brother, I do not wish her ill, but we have no right to sit idly by. Regrettably, Gloria will never truly be a part of the Brante family. Her origins are too tarnished, so it's our duty to find her a new family. It's high time Gloria got married. What? Oh, this is gonna go over well. But we can't just give her a sister to a commoner, can we? And how could any noble wed her, knowing her origins? It's been a stumbling block for a long time, but I've finally found a suitable match for her. His name is Jose El Pelletier, yeah, the guy that I beat in the tournament. He's a young nobleman of the sword, recently graduated from the college, now has a position at the city hall. You'll recall a reception several years ago where he couldn't take his eyes off Gloria? Pelletier has been obsessed with her ever since. Not even her lowly origins can deter him. Admittedly, Gloria does not reciprocate his affection just yet. So let us convince Gloria that becoming Sir El Pelletier's bride is her chance to escape her current situation. And then let us pray she comes to her senses and puts her rebellious ways behind her. Isn't this an ideal solution? After marrying El Pelletier, Gloria will be a noblewoman herself. We'll be granting her the freedom she's craved since she was a girl. Then she can write poetry and do whatever else takes her fancy. I think the issue is that she doesn't want to become a noble. I think her issue is that nobles can do certain things which commoners cannot. That is the main thing here, but Stephan is too blind to see that. I will enter into negotiations with the El Pelletier family. Rumor has it Jose's father already has a future wife in mind for him, the daughter of an important chancellery official. But Jose's passion must win out in the end, don't you agree? As for you, Randolph, please help me with Gloria. You're the closest with her. You can make her see how beneficial this match will be. She must fulfill her duty to the family that took her in after all. Stephan looks at you expectantly. You're at a crossroads. Will you accept your brother's plan or refuse him? Will this marriage be a blessing? And for whom? Yeah, like I just said about the storytelling, it puts us in different spots. Well, this is one of them. So during all of the game, I've always stood by Gloria. And to be honest, there is some kind of sense in what Stephan is saying. If Gloria would become a noble, that would take away a lot of the issues that our family has. However, we're also taking away Gloria's own choice in the matter, which is not really what I want. And this, actually, if I refuse him, the unity of the family goes up, which is, to me, valuable. Plus, I get more willpower, so I'm not going to participate here. Your words slice through the silence of the sleeping house. You disagree with Stephan and will not participate in his plots against your sister. Stephan does not say anything, but his grip on the glass tightens. Finally, you hear the sound of breaking glass and glimmering shards fall on the floor. Stephan pensively contemplates the blood running down his palm. Pity. What a pity our grandfather Sir Gregor is no longer with us. He would make both you and Gloria see reason. Neither of you is capable of grasping what family and blood means, so I suppose I must bear this burden alone. Stephan leaves the room. You're left alone in front of a dying fire. After a conversation last night, Stephan mostly stays silent and treats Gloria with pointed courtesy. The family breathes a collective sigh of relief. Could the feud between Stephan and Gloria finally be over? You're the only one who is aware of the scheme your brother is concocting. Oh, we're very close to peace in the family. That would be very nice. I doubt that is gonna happen though. Your home is quiet tonight. Father is away arbitrating disputes in the Magran villages. Stephan is visiting one of his high-placed patrons. After the dinner spent in silence, everyone retreats to their chambers. You're about to retire for the night when Gloria calls out to you. Randolph, wait a minute. I have an important favor to ask you. Your sister leads you to her longtime refuge, the library. Here in the shadows between the bookcases, you will not be overheard. Brother, I wish to speak with you before Stephan returns. His scheming is becoming unbearable. It's beyond Sir Robert's power to stop him, let alone Mother or Nathan. You're my only hope. You shrug. All families argue from time to time, but every quarrel has to end sooner or later. Yes, it will end. When Stephan finally gets rid of me, and as far as he's concerned, I'm just a stumbling block and a stain on his father's good name. He lets me stay in the house, only to avoid causing a scandal in high society, but as soon as the Brantes get his precious nobility of the sword, I'll be out on the street in the blink of an eye. Randolph, you don't want for me to get kicked out of the family, do you? Please help me. I need to convince Sir Robert to adopt me and make me legitimate. After that, it won't be so easy for Stephan to dispose of me, and then I won't bear the stigma of being a bastard anymore. I know Sir Robert would agree, if only by virtue of the love he has for our mother, but Stephan is standing in his way. Tell me, will you help me? Yeah, here's another one of those choices. An illegitimate child who has never known her father, a stranger in the family. Gloria looks at you with hopeful, pleading eyes. If I refuse Gloria, oh wow. If I refuse Gloria, the unity goes up again. Okay, so in that case, I kinda have to do this. I mean, to keep the peace, and this would actually cause peace in the family, because we go to 7, and it gives me more willpower. So let me, this breaks my heart, to be honest. You refuse your sister. The world doesn't work the way she would like it to. She's a commoner and an illegitimate child. Why pointlessly revolt against it? Gloria is demanding too much from Sir Robert. Adopting Gloria as his daughter would be too dangerous. The Brante family's position is precarious enough as it is. You will not scheme to pressure your father or Stephan into this. Every word you utter makes Gloria flinch as though she were struck by a lash. Her empty eyes wander around the room, avoiding yours. I shouldn't have opened my heart to you. This is my predicament and mine alone. Good night, brother. You go back to your bedroom, craving the oblivion of sleep. You keep tossing and turning restlessly. Will your words compel Gloria to give up on her plan? Man, this really breaks my heart, because I do want Gloria to be a part of this family for real. But there are so many things to consider. Man. Hey, we reached peace. Let's keep it like that for a while. I'm prepared for anything, which is great. The sun is setting on a cold, windy day as you return from the prefecture. To your surprise, a messenger awaits you at the door with an urgent letter from Sir El Borne. You open the letter. Brante, there's an urgent case that I must entrust to you. We've just received a report of a secret society formed by young nobles. The Archduke's family may be involved. This concerns me. I suspect a possible plot to depose Overseer Tempest. Normally, the secret chancellery handles all such cases, but I'd rather investigate the rumors of the plot before there is any action. Preventing unnecessary bloodshed and disgrace would be prudent. You are to investigate this matter as soon as possible. The gendarmes tracked down suspicious nobleman by the name of Alexis L. Lance. Based on his confession, a meeting of this society will be held tonight. Unfortunately, this is all we were able to learn from him. The L. Lance family is of too high standing for more thorough questioning. Fortunately, all members of this secret society wear masks when attending meetings. We have acquired L. Lance's personal mask and will ensure that he is late to the meeting. You should be able to impersonate him quite easily. Are you nuts? Are you trying to get me killed? Man, this guy, why don't you do it yourself? You are to attend the meeting tonight and learn as much as possible about the secret society. This will allow us to foil a dangerous plot or save many young people from the secret chancellery. Yeah, and what if Octavia is there? The letter includes a delicate gilded mask of intricate workmanship. Fortunately, it fits your face perfectly. It seems your plan for tonight has changed. Man, this is messed up. Following the prefect's instructions, you come at the appointed hour to an inconspicuous mansion at the edge of an izzati with a spacious yard and tall fence around it. The gatekeepers bow and open the gate as soon as they see you. It seems the mask is enough to convince them you belong inside. Inside the yard you see noble carriages, many more than you had expected. You're ushered into a dressing room of sorts. A change of clothes already awaits you inside. It's a curious garb. A square of flowing, sparkling cloth with clasps and cords to keep it from unwrapping. Never seen anything like it. The strange robe and gilded mask over your normal clothes and face cannot help but feel rather silly. This attire feels positively unsuitable for any kind of plotting or scheming. Next you proceed to a large room. The windows are covered in black cloth to keep prying eyes away, but you forget about that moments later. What seems to be a strange performance is playing out before your very eyes. You hear droning, unfamiliar music coming seemingly from nowhere. You see candlelight dancing and glimmering. Ribbons of gold and silver are hung along the walls as decoration. And there are people, many people, like you, dressed in flowing robes and delicate gilded masks with narrow slits for eyes. The people are talking. They stand unexpectedly close to one another, their hands on each other's shoulders. You approach one of the groups, hoping to overhear the subject of their conversation, but you almost recoil when several arms reach out at once, tempting to grasp you tenderly by the shoulder. Steeling yourself, you put your hand on another person's forearm. The masked people seemed friendly and genial. No one appears surprised by your insecurity. And their conversations are also quite out of the ordinary. You hear unfamiliar names that could belong to legendary heroes of old, or to the people here who have taken them as secret identities. You hear mentions of books you do not know, and emotions they felt while reading them. Oh man, I just ran into like a Cthulhu meeting. We're talking about the Necronomicon. Their conversations feel like a strange dream. Maybe it's the King in Yellow. That's probably it. That's gonna be the King in Yellow. You hear several voices singing in a far-off corner of the room. There are no lyrics to the song. Each voice maintains its own note. Together these voices form a tender, softly acting melody. It feels enrapturing, it spirits you away. You feel so distant now from the purpose of your visit, so withdrawn from the judge's trade, so far from the Empire and from your very self. A hand touches your shoulder, bringing you back to your senses. A pair of familiar eyes look at you intently from behind a glinting greenish-silver mask. They belong to Octavia, busted. You pull back and bow to the Archduke's daughter. I believe I recognize the man behind this mask. Never expected to see you here today, my extraordinary human. But I must behave here. You'd best do the same, we're not alone. It would be best if we're not seen too close to one another. As for this place, Sir Brante, allow me to explain, this is my circle of Lotari. And before you ask, no, we do not plot, nor do we scheme. We have removed ourselves as far as possible from such machinations. This place is a little world of our own, a brief respite from tradition, noble customs, and other such fuss. Our gathering is but a pretense. A game of make-believe. We pretend we are neither nobles nor citizens of the Blessed Empire, nor humans, nor Archnians, but the Lotari. Do you know what this word means? They're playing a role-playing game. How cool is that? It's a LARP. I would not be surprised if you've never heard of the Lotari. These days the people of Lotari are mentioned only in rare historical works. Long before us, in an age when this land was fertile and green, the Lotari lived upon the land that would become Magra. They were masters of the remarkable art. They could create worlds from nothing but their conscious minds. Many of these people come here for simple entertainment and a brief taste of freedom. Others seek a respite from the binding customs of the noble lot. Still others feel encumbered by their blood ties and ancestral obligations. Only here are we fully free from the burden of our past and our present. Yet some among us seek more than brief moments of freedom. They are drawn here by a fascination with the Lotari, and their idea that our entire existence can be shaped by the mind alone. We strive to know the Lotari people for ourselves, we strive to continue their teachings, we strive to become them. If we happen to master the art of shaping worlds from our own minds, we may yet break free of the trap that is this harsh existence. Surprised by this, you ask her why she is telling you this so openly. She knows that the rituals of extinct races are held in the same regard as magic, and punishable as such. In response to your question, Octavia suddenly takes off her golden mask and reveals a slight smile on her once hidden face. May your voice never speak words of deceit. To great shame lies the path of untruth. Where an Arachnean lies, where a human denies, the Lotari speak truly, forsooth. I'm not afraid. The truth of the Lotari matters more to me than any persecution. You came here in secret, wearing a mask, which means the prefecture has taken an interest in my little gatherings. I am confident you will describe this as an innocent club of young nobles and keep out fragile world from prying eyes and ears. Would you do this for me, Randolph Brante? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I will. You know, we have a changing room here, Octavia, where, these words spoken by Octavia sound more like an assertion than a question, but you are in no hurry to respond. Your thoughts are tangled, lost among the echoing voices, fluid motions, and transcendent music. This gathering is in violation of the law. This you cannot deny. All rituals of extinct races were banned at the foundation of the Empire. You may summon the gendarmes here at any moment. You need only give a sign to the driver. When they get here, the circle of Lotari will be gone in an instant. You will prove to the city that not even the most noble of its denizens are above the law. But Octavia will never forgive you. You could, on the other hand, keep the circle of Lotari a secret from El Borne, report this meeting as a harmless gathering of young nobles looking for an opportunity to socialize. But if the secret chancellery ever takes interest in these meetings, you will be powerless. Someone has already reported Octavia's circle to the prefecture. There's a very good chance these reports will continue. Perhaps if you tell Octavia of the danger she is facing, she will disband the circle herself. There's one more way you could resolve this predicament. With a piece of paper, some ink, and a bit of skill, the Circle of Lotari could become a noble historical society. One of many dozen in Enizati alone. Legitimized by the city, Octavia's gatherings would remain a secret within this mansion. But do you have enough influence to make this possible? And would it be wise to expend it in this way? Say something, Randolph. This is no time to be quiet. Great mystery of Lotari is about to begin. Man, I'm very tempted to legitimize it. But let's look at the options. Oh, we can actually take part in a ritual. Oh wow. So if we keep the secret, the Lotari ritual takes place. Justice goes down, that's okay. My relationship with Octavia goes up, which is what I live for. Theology goes up, and willpower goes up, which is pretty cool. This is actually a good option. I can ban the circle, yeah, that's not gonna happen. What if I legitimize the circle? Wealth, family wealth will go up. Diplomacy, theology go up, but I don't take part. Oh man. This actually helps the family out, but I don't take part in the ritual itself. That's a pity. Plus willpower goes down. So do I go for the ritual? Actually, the ritual is too much fun, right? I wish I could do a poll now, but I'm gonna have to make this choice by myself. Let's go for the ritual. If they get found out about later on, then, well, it's out of my hands, you know. You promise Octavia not to tell a soul about the Circle of Lotari and ensure the prefecture is none the wiser. You will tell the prefect that this gathering of young nobles is just an elaborate yet harmless amusement that poses no threat to public order whatsoever. The Arachnean lady rewards you with an enigmatic smile. I expected nothing less, Randolph Brante. I value your loyalty. The circle is the most important thing in my life right now. Wait, more important than me? What? If only we were alone, so I could show you the full extent of my gratitude. Yeah, if only, huh? Why don't you send all these people into the dresser for a moment? The great mystery of the night is about to begin. Since you have joined us tonight, Randolph, you will take part in it. Octavia withdraws, walks to the center of the room and raises her arms. The voices and music fall silent. Form a circle, O chosen ones, and join hands. Direct your thoughts and feelings towards the circle's center, towards me. You're gonna get a bunch of dirty thoughts, Octavia. Become one with me, become one inside the circle. If only I could. I mean, become Lotari. Before you know it, the masked people have formed a large circle. They begin to move. It's a strange, slow dance devoid of music. Their movements are unlike any dance you know. Intertwined arms become an embrace, and that embrace then becomes intertwined arms yet again. Everyone dances, and the dance sweeps you away and absorbs you as well. You see golden faces moving all around. Deep within, you begin to feel a strange connection to them. It is as if you have known them all along, as if you have known yourself as being with a gilded, delicate face. You're united, one with the people who surround you, insecure no more, uneasy no more. All of you dissolved and blended within this space. You are one. You are Lotari. You are the truth. Behind you there is nothing. The world around grows dull. Fragments are falling away. Your bodies, the walls, the houses, the city. Everything grows dull and disappears in the light. There is only the Lotari. Beyond them there is nothing. The world was but a dream. You have awoken from it. The music stops and the circle breaks apart. Your back is perfectly straight, your head held high, as if you actually glimpsed another world through another eyes during the short time you spent here. You shudder at this thought. The minutes spent in the strange dance, what were they? That you do not know, but the law, the lot, the empire itself, they did not exist so long as this dance of unity lasted. Do you understand now? Do you see why there is nothing in the world more important to me than this circle? This world holds us like a prison, yet there can be another, a world free from the twins and their design. I can glimpse it, if only I could step into it. Octavia cuts her speech short. She looks at you intently. This is only my concern and my responsibility, because I want it to be so. Do not return here, Randolph. You've seen enough. You'll bring danger upon the circle if you're seen coming here again. The next day you report to El Borne and tell him that his concerns are baseless. There was no sign of a noble plot whatsoever. It was nothing but a costume party hosted by several young nobles seeking entertainment, and sweet pleasure belongs to the nobles by their lot, do they not? I figured as much. I'm glad we didn't send gendarmes on them. Just hope the secret chancellery and Sir El never hear of these reports. I doubt the advisor will be as tolerant of their youthful amusements. Well then, you may return to Otton's case, Brante. As you sift through yet another pile of paperwork, you cannot help but think of the Circle of Lotari again. Can be no doubt the members of the Circle are pretending to be a long-extinct race. They are therefore revolting against the Empire, not on the streets, but in their minds. This is an even bigger threat. The followers of the Lotari have escaped punishment. You've been among them. Oh, we moved away from commoners are protected. Okay, I need to crank that up a little bit again. I'm still a neophyte when it comes to religion, but I'm at 30 willpower now. Like, I'm ready to carry the world on my shoulders if need be. And with that, another year passes, and another episode will be cut short. If you're enjoying this story, then by all means hit that like button, subscribe if you want to follow along. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.